So this is a grease pencil or a China marker. And one of the most annoying things about it is that to get more of the tip exposed, you have to pull this string, as I have, because this is much shorter than it comes, in order to expose the, it's not really lead, but whatever's in here. And if you're not familiar with China markers or grease pencils, one of the cool things about them is they're called China markers because they'll write on China, like on cups, any slick surface, and then after you've written the price, you know, $39 or whatever, you can actually remove it completely. So anyway, they're a fun tool for art because of course you can also use them on paper, and they come in white. But I know now that you're going to look at this and say, that doesn't look the same. And that's because I've done this really cool trick, which was talked about by another artist who I ran into, whose name I'm afraid escapes me. I didn't know him particularly well. And you can see how good the white looks on top of there. And when you have it on top of paper, it doesn't really, and paint, it doesn't really rub off the same way. But the reason that this doesn't look the same and is so much easier to use is he mentioned that one of the things he does is he removes the inside of these. So I'm going to go ahead and rip this string all the way down. And I'm going to get that lead or whatever it is out of there. And you can see why this gets really fussy and kind of annoying, and that these can break and stuff. Because, well, right, they're just sort of exposed in here. And you have to, and so you might rip this down and then crack that in half when you're trying to draw with it, especially if you're trying to push with any kind of pressure. So I'm just going to continue to rip this off until I've managed to get this lead out of here. So now I have this lead out of here. And then what I bought online, I just went to Blick, is I found these twist up crayons that were super cheap. And you can use the crayons because they're just, you know, they're crayons, they're just wax. Or you can go ahead and before they're finished, you can go ahead and keep twisting this bottom part. You can see I'm just twisting the back, and that's extending the crayon on out of here. Okay. And then I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to put my China marker or grease pencil, and then I'm just going to twist back down, and it's going to go ahead and fall back into that chamber like so. And now, okay, and then I'm just going to push it. There's a little like part that holds it so it doesn't fall out, if that makes sense. This little white part, if you sort of push it into the white part, if you need to push it out a little to make sure that it's securely into this little white part in here. Now I have a China marker that is not going to break, it's not going to crack, it's super duper easy, it's held in this container. And if I had actually used the crayon, then this is a great way to actually just sort of recycle these empty plastic tubes that would otherwise, you know, get used. And then of course, I would write on here because this says twist up crayon, and I just want to make sure I remember that this is in fact a grease pencil black. And that way, when I go to grab it or look at it in any way, I can see what it is on it and I know what's in there. So I have my white, I have my black, I got another black because I'm just crazy rich with these. But I thought this was sort of a fun art tip. So I hope you'll give it a try, taking your China markers and your grease pencils and go ahead and put them in these nice tubes. This makes them great for travel. It makes them super easy to use. I'm really happy with mine.